Hello, I am Tashtari, and this is my internet television program. Welcome, welcome. Um, Last stream, which I did on Halloween, possibly unwisely, I don't know. It wasn't very Halloween themed in any case, except for the general feeling of canopsia that Riven tends to imbue, and every game in the Myst series tends to as well. Um, Last stream, we made progress, which was more than I expected, to be honest with you. We visited Catherine in her prison and got jump scared. That was a little bit Halloweenish. Um, and we visited Gen, who apparently had the same audio track from the original Riven, which is interesting. Just sort of recut, I guess, to fit his new 3D model, which was a lot better than the ones in the Myst remake. So I'm happy with that. We also found the fifth moiety totem. Uh, so I think, or at least I think that's all of them. So we should be well equipped to handle the moiety puzzle whenever we get to it. We pissed off the Wark, which I was hoping was the solution to how to get around to the places in the village that I haven't been able to get to up to now. Um, but it was not. And I hinted myself out of frustration and found that I was overlooking something that was so simple that the first guide that I found didn't even mention it. So that's that's never a good sign. But it was I'm gonna take what Brungo said to heart and say that it was something that I wasn't expecting to be where it was because I knew the original game. If I was experiencing this game for the first time, I think I'd be a lot more likely to have found it. But basically what happened was you have to turn the maglev around, just like you have to do on the survey island, to get to the submarine dock, the bathysphere dock, or whatever you want to call it. But I feel better about that now. So, let's go. I still love that logo. Much cooler than the happy music box tune one. All right, and let's continue. So basically, last stream I stopped right in front of the bathysphere at the bathysphere dock because I figured I wanted to save something for this stream. I don't know whether that was wise or not, because thinking on it, there might be more to explore in the village than I anticipate. Okay. On top of which, the way into the submarine may not be obvious either. But there's a button here, so let's push it. Nothing. Of course, I can't scramble up on the wheel. That would be too easy. There's a big window above us. I am already losing confidence. So we can see something up there. Is there like a stairway? Okay, there's a stairway, thank goodness. There we go. All right. Okay. What do our controls look like here? We've got a forward lever and a turn left or right lever and a 5-step turning something or other? I don't know. Okay. More of the resistive heating coils. And marine life. That's cool. I think I recognize this place already. This is the submarine dock on one side of the... Well, let's look. Yeah. So can we use this ladder for anything now? We can. But what? Well, that's interesting. What purpose could that serve? Alright, well, let's just remember that for later. Interesting. So we can turn it around. Where are we now? Okay, so we're out in that island in the center. That's cool. What do now? Oh, that's interesting. There's a resistive heating element that's been turned on over by the dock now that I don't think was there before. We can do this. Hey, we're in the village. Let's bring down those drawbridges now that I think we can do it. Oh, that's such a good feeling. After all of that outside looking in shit. Now, I'll be interested to see if this works like it did in the original game. Nope, can't seem to access the knocker there. Ah, that sucks. So what else is around here? Ah, the other bridge. There it is. And sure as anything, that brings us back to where we were before. Hey, Brungo. Welcome, welcome. Progress is being made, I am happy to say. I may or may not finish today. There's an awful lot of village to explore that I didn't take into account before. This looks like a dead end, at least for the moment. Ah, this one has a knocker that I can knock. Hello. Goodbye. Well, all the villagers know to be scared of me. They don't need the alarm guy in this game for some reason. We been down there already? I think we've been down there already. But we've been here already, and we've been up already, so let's go down. I hope all this panning around isn't too nauseating. Okay, so there's a lot of ladders, but they don't go a whole lot of places. Good, good. Ah, okay. This is the thing I was looking at before that was producing all the smoke. It's some sort of a wark steam emitter thing. And I can look inside of it. But what can I do once I look inside of it? Oh, it's painted at least partially with invisible ink. I don't know what that signifies, though. It's got a lever on this side. Which I can't actuate? That is a lever, isn't it? No, all I can do is look inside, apparently. Well, whatever that means, it's probably going to be important at some point. Huh, okay. Well, we'll remember that and come back to it. Till then, let's get back down to the submarine. Going at a decidedly unsafe speed through this rickety and high off the ground mountainside village thingy. You were right, though. A jetpack certainly would be a nice feature. So what is the point of this thing here? Can we do anything with it? We can climb up to it. This has 5 dots on it. No invisible ink. That thing on the side turnable? Doesn't look like it. This is just a big old dunny Riven symbol thing. Okay, purpose here is not obvious. The move away from point and click does make it a lot funnier that your character respectfully sticks to pathways instead of climbing over stuff. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I was thinking that just as when I first encountered the sub. I was thinking, like, it wasn't obvious how to get in it. And I was thinking, like, well, why can't you just climb up into it? But my player character had to find the stairs, of course. Because what fun would it be if, you know, you were subject to normal physics? Okay, this is the school stop. We've been here before. And the last one. This should be the Wart Gallows. Yes, it is. Okay. We have already closed the middle here, so if this is anything like the previous game, which is a dangerous thing to say, we should be able to ride the manacles up here. Okay. Get in. Now, is this going to go up by itself, or... Okay, this is not going to go up by itself. Because the person that's been manacled to it is currently being eaten by the warg. Oh, I see. There was a timer. Okay, let's try that again. Ah, so apparently you can manacle 5 people in this one and not just 1. That's convenient for those, you know, mass public executions. There we go. Ah, and you can get back down from the top. That's useful. What is the top button do? Oh, I see. That is so you can attach the people. How convenient. Is there somebody in there? It is a little too dark to see. I wonder if that's because the gamma on my monitor doesn't match the Mac gamma. Oh well, we know what's going to happen. He's going to vanish as soon as we turn this thing. You must have the brightness set up higher on your monitor than I do. I should turn that up at some point. Okay, I need to turn up the brightness on this monitor. One moment, please. Oh, it's set all the way to 0. No wonder I can't see crap. Okay, now I can sort of see crap. That's an improvement. Boy, it's bright out there. Is there a drain in there by any chance? What is that? Is that just a brick? If I'm missing something that seems obvious on the capture, please let me know. Okay, good. Because this looks dark to me, too. There was a bit of a problem in the original Myst with the gamma of the Mac monitor not matching up to the gamma of the PC monitor, and so the puzzle in Stone Ship, where you find the little door with the red square on it, was made a lot more difficult on the PC. Just by virtue of the fact that you couldn't see anything. A button? No, that's just a spot on a brick. Oh, wait a minute. crap was I supposed to see that, other than the fact that the cursor changed while I was over it? Does that even look like anything? No, no, no. I think you're probably just supposed to feel around for it. Fumbling in the dark. Okay. It is very dark. I am likely to be eaten by a grue. Oh, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I am supposed to be using my my invisible ink glass for navigation. Right? Ah, there we go. Okay. There we go. And that's probably how I was meant to find that brick as well, now I think about it. Okay. There we go, a fire marble. That looks interesting. Hang on a second, though. Turn on the rest of the fire marbles just in case. There we go. Okay. This looks familiar. I mean... what happens if we try entering the solution from Riven 97? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The water's doing something, I think. Or was it doing that to begin with? No, I think it was doing that to begin with. That's okay. I wouldn't have expected this to work. I would have been kind of disappointed if it did. Okay. Are there any invisible ink hint around here? No, it wouldn't be that simple either. Huh. Okay. So we now have a place to enter the moiety code, but we don't know what it is. That's like progress. We haven't seen anything that looks like those totems anywhere else. The 5 moiety totems do not appear to be related to this puzzle. Which is unfortunate because I still don't have a place for that key to go. Anything else down this end? No, this just leads to the water and we can't go out. Any invisible ink here? Just the path. There we go. That was what I was meant to see. Okay, we'll close that so Gem doesn't find out about it. And so my retinas don't get scorched off. I'm going to readjust the brightness and contrast on my monitor. There we go. Much better. Okay. Okay. We have a place to enter a code. That's good. We were short on those for a while. Anything in the village that I missed? Did I go up here? I get up there? Not by picking up that ladder, apparently. I don't think I was up here before. Let's see if I missed anything. If I missed anything. Ha ha ha. Okay, well that looks like one of the symbols. What's this dangling thing here? What's going on here? No moiety markings. All I can do is move this thing back and forth. It seems like it's some kind of a rain catcher. Though why it needs to be so big, goodness knows. Okay, we can't go over there, even though we can obviously go over there. That's a little annoying. That pipe goes down. I remember seeing the other end of that. That goes down to that tree over there. But what good does that do us? What's going to happen if we somehow send water to that tree? And anyway, that's one of the symbols. If that's one of the symbols, then that is only one of the symbols, and there are 4 hidden somewhere else. But I'd better sketch it just to make sure. Or take a photo of it. I could do that too. Okay. Actually, I'm going to leave this... okay, yeah, I'm going to leave that thing in that position, because one of the lessons of the original game was that everything is always in the wrong position initially. So never leave something where it was when you found it. This is how they make the invisible ink. Every so often I remember that I have the invisible ink glass, and I have to use it on everything because I could be missing something. Then after a while I forget that I have it. And like as not, I miss out on something. Whoa, Jackson. Hi, Mikal. Hi, Zorark. Hi, Veshkun. Hi, everybody. This is my first raid. Would you believe that? Thank you so much for the follow, Grommel for win. Hello to, let's see, Berry Twisted Dude, Autumn, DJ Aaron, TJ, Stoop Elder, TTS Bot, Mikal again, Snagawark, and again, Grobble for win. If I've forgotten anybody, I profusely apologize. Thank you for the follow, Very Twisted Dude, and Autumn D. Jaren, and Snagawark. Wow, okay. That was interesting. Give me that 50 follower affiliate limit. That is certainly what I was hoping for, and we're getting closer and closer. We're up to 46 now? Though that may be lagging behind. But thank you, Mikal. I really appreciate this. This is really awesome. Hey, my followers goal of 50 was just completed this minute. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. I will celebrate by creating some awesome channel point rewards at some point soon, because I start thinking about this stuff a lot. But to catch up with the follows, thank you TJ, thank you TTS Bot, thank you Vashkun, thank you Stoop Elder for following. I am just chuffed to bits. Thank you. I forget what that sound means. Oh, there it is. The followers goal was matched. Cool. Awesome. Wonderful. Amazing. Outstanding. Confusing. So anyway, what we're doing here is playing Riven. We have found where to put in the answer to the moiety puzzle, but we don't know what the answer is. All we know is that it's not the same as it was in the original game, which is disappointing, but also not disappointing because I don't want to be deprived of a new puzzle to solve. And indeed I am not. We've got this thing, which is full of steam, just like the steam pipe that we can hide in, and a lever that we can't... I swear I tried to pull that before, and it didn't pull. Okay, now something's happening down there. Let's go down there and see what happened. I swear I tried to pull that before. Brungo, you were here. I tried to pull that thing before, and it just wasn't doing anything. That's okay. That's okay. We will not question it. It was unblocked by the raid. That seems as likely an explanation as any, and I'll take it, and I will thank Mikal Humblebutter for that as well. And thank him so much that I won't accidentally call him Mikal Humblebundle like I have done in the past. Okay. Steam is over there. Investigate Steam. Ah, okay. Maybe that's what this ladder is for. It was not clear before what that was. No, it's not what this ladder is for. Not unless we bring the submarine over. So what's down there, and how do we get down there? Interesting. Okay. If we bring the submarine over, then we can use that ladder, and then possibly we can get down there to the thing. Let's go find the submarine, which I parked at the school, as you do. One of the things about the original game that I thought was kind of funny was the fact that the only way to get to the school was using the submarine. And the submarine didn't seem big enough for more than, like, one person. Maybe 2 or 3 at a stretch. And so the morning commute must have been hell. I swear, you kids, I will turn this bathysphere around. Is there a lore reason these people can't just swim? I think the lore reason for this is that there are warks in the pool that will eat you. It's not entirely clear to me. Like, in the original game, there's obviously a wark under the wark gallows because he has to, you know, be able to eat transgressors of the law alive, as you do. But you don't see warks when you're in the submarine. So, and maybe that's just a technical limitation of some kind? I'm not entirely sure. But I guess the real answer is that then you wouldn't have a cool submarine to ride around in. Okay, this is where I think it is, right? Yes, okay. So now we can climb down here. Because the water has been taken away. Can we go anywhere? You choose to believe the water is actually hydrochloric acid. The water in Riven is definitely weird in some way. Gen postulated that it had a microorganism in it, a kind of bacteria that caused it to respond to heat, which caused it to be able to do cool things like this, just with the proximity of a little oven burner type thing here. But I don't think it will eat you alive. The warks, however, the warks will eat you alive. So now what is up? What do we do now? So there's steam coming out of that thing. And we can get down this ladder, but we can't get from there to there. Why not? Maybe you can't swim in it because your body heat repels the water, so you just sink. I think that's actually true from a lore perspective. There is a... I think there's a thing in the first Myst novel, the Book of Atris, where he meets Catherine because she saves him from drowning. Because he doesn't know how to swim in Rivenese water. So why is this lit and this lit? Does it just light the one you were at previously? That could be. Or maybe it's just, it happens to be still hot. Okay, let's try that. Let's go from here to the school, and then hightail it back here before the thing gets cold again. If it's possible to hightail it in this environment. Okay. Oops, that is not the place I meant to go. That's not helping. Okay, so left is the Wark Gallows. Let's go back there. So we can keep this hot plate hot when I actually go to the correct destination next time. Or so I hope. Yeah, that must be it. Because if you go to one place where the hot plate is off, it takes a moment for this thing to sink. Okay, that's interesting. Zorak, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it very much. Man, this is a long way around. Oh, Arborcat, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Okay, the hot plate is still hot. Ooh. What's down here? Oh. It's another totem. A 6th totem. This one has the number... What number is that? This one has the number 2. Oh! Okay, a light bulb just went off here. Okay, so there are 6 totems, and they have the numbers 1 through 6 on them. Do they represent something? Like, is there an animal on there that I've been missing? I feel like they all look the same, but maybe I'm just not looking at them carefully. Let me tag this one as 2 in my notebook. And this one was 6. Do those look different? Two pointy ears, 2 halves of a fish, 2 sticking uppy thingies. 2 point... No, they're the same design. How am I supposed to... Huh. How am I supposed to turn this into anything of significance, I wonder? Are the feet the same? If that's meant to look like anything in one of the in one of the pillars in the moiety room, then goodness knows I can't see it. Are those feet the same way? Oop. Am I gonna drown? Oh, how convenient. But how do I get out from here? Ah, very nice. So thoughtful of them to have thought of that. Can I walk over the hot plate? No, I cannot walk over the hot plate. Just like I cannot drown. I am fortunate to be so invincible in a dangerous place such as this. Let me look at that other totem again. No, I swear it's the same design. There's nothing... Well, that's perplexing. Let me go back to the location of the other totem that's nearby here. The only thing so far that has looked like a thing from the from one of the moiety pillars is that water spout up top. Did anything change with that? Am I silly? I don't know. Hang on. Let me go back. Let me continue doing what I was starting to do already. Wait, I ran past it. Okay. Okay. So here is this totem in its situation. This is number 6 in the stupid Rivenese numerals. If I turn this thing, then the water is still for a moment. And I can see... Oh! Oh! I didn't see that before. I saw that there was some invisible ink down there, but I did not see... Oh. Alright. Okay, suddenly this makes a lot more sense. Let's grab a screenshot of that. I mean, I'll remember it, but still. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Suddenly, I feel like this is solvable. Suddenly, I feel like there is progress to be made. Suddenly, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. So now I just have to get back to that underwater totem, and remember to use my moiety glass. You see, I said it before. Like, I will remember it for a time and use it on everything, and then I'll forget that I have it and forget to use it somewhere important. It's a bit annoying that way, this game mechanic. But, ooh, it's still warm. It's still warm. It's still warm. Go, 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 go. This, however, is not. Shoot. Okay, well, we have to go, or wait a minute. We want to keep that on for emergency purposes. But we want to go back up to the Wark steam vent thing and close it again. I can find my way through this maze. Should be able to do that. Yep, somebody opened it again. How inconsiderate. Okay. Where was the ladder I came up? There. I really like when I have those "oh" moments. Those are what you live for as a puzzle gamer. Okay, now where is our moiety clue here? Oop, hello. Aha. Okay. So that is number, what was this number? This was number 2, right? Yeah, that was number 2. Okay, so go back into notebook. This is 6. This is 2. This is useless. This is also useless. This is also useless. Yeah, taking pictures of the things in situ doesn't really help unless you have the moiety glass on. Okay. So now to the rest of the moiety totems. I feel like I should get, hurt by the steam there, but apparently not. So I won't complain. All right, where was the tree, the lone tree totem? It was somewhere on this island, but don't quote me on that. Damn it, I said don't quote me on that. permaband. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay, here we go. So this one was number... This was number 1. So we're looking for a... That doesn't look like anything. Maybe if we go up to the top of the village and look down on the tree from there? I mean, I'm gonna walk around a little to see, but no, there's no way that it looks like anything from this perspective, unless that wasn't one of the animals. That isn't an animal, that's just a flower. And you can see it without the glass. It just sort of phosphoresces when you have the glass on it. Up and up and up and up and up and up and up. That still doesn't look like anything. Maybe this frog thing is number 1? Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But, well, it's a working theory, so let's write it down for now. Okay. So where were the other moiety totems? So we have 1, 2, and 6. 3 was near the cut down forest. That's still on this island. We can go there. Oop, wrong way. Down, 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 down. I do sort of miss zip mode from previous versions of Myst. There are times when it would come in handy, and I think this is one of them. here we are. Okay. So we head off here, and this totem is number, what did I say, 2? I think that's right. No, 3. This is totem 3, because we have 1 and 2. Now, where is our clue? That looks like something. Trying to get a better shot of it, but... Okay. That is 3. Four is on Prison Island, so we'll get that later. 5 is in Gen's lab. 5 is in Gen's lab. What's the one that was in Gen's lab? Okay, so what's the easiest way to get there? Probably through the starfish here. Then we can get to Prison Island from there as well. No, not there. Oh. Hey, Not Nat. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it very, very much. And for the first time chat as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Came in with the smiley raid. What emote is that? I should be able to... Came in with the Mikhail Humblebutter raid. Yes, I knew that. I knew that. I swear I did. Have I read any of the books? I have read the first one, and I enjoyed it. I haven't read any of the others yet. I think... Aren't they out of print or something at this point? I used to have a copy of the Mistreader, which had all 3 books in it, but... that was long before I discovered Twitch, and I had kind of lost interest in it, so I think it's now at a used bookstore somewhere. Yeah, isn't it true that that Robin Miller has in his personal headcanon says that it's just the first 2 games in the first book? I am kind of inclined to be on that side of things. Because, I mean, Myst 3 was a good game, but Myst 4 was like... Myst 4 was a lot. I mean, from a story perspective, it was interesting. But the puzzles, oh my goodness. Like... I never actually tried to play it from zero myself. Hey, Horizon of Garbage. Welcome. Yeah, I was told during development that Richard van der Wende, who was the director of the first game, said that he wasn't interested in being a part of the remake unless they could redo a whole bunch of it. Lurking is fine. We are perfectly happy to have lurkers here. But yeah, he said he wouldn't come back to work on it unless they were redoing a bunch of the puzzles. And redo a bunch of the puzzles they did. And I'm honestly pretty happy about it because, you know, the problem with being a connoisseur of puzzle games is that you recognize that once you find out that one is good, you're already done with it. And all you can do is, you know, go to Twitch and watch other people play it and try desperately to sit on your hands and not hint them. And what they've done with Riven here is that they've effectively done what we all wish that we could do, which is erase the memory of the puzzles from our heads so that we can experience them as a totally new player would, and that's really cool. I mean, I'm really enjoying exploring this familiar world and not knowing how to solve any of these puzzles. I was a little frustrated with with finding the submarine before, but that actually, as it turns out, was just me thinking in terms of the previous game when I should think in terms of somebody who's never experienced it before. Yeah, it's true. Once you experience some of the basics, it's difficult to play it completely fresh, but I think that they've done about as good a job as could be reasonably expected. And I kind of wish that they had done the Myst remake in the same way. They changed a little bit of the puzzles around, but it was clear that the differences were really just to accommodate VR more than anything else. And frankly, the changes they made weren't good. Like, I don't know if you've seen the Myst remake, but in the Stone Ship Age, the puzzle with the floating chest, they made it this very weird, like, chest attached to a barrel thing. And the key's no longer bolted to the floor. It's instead on a string that looks like it should be able to reach the key in the wall, the keyhole in the wall, but can't for some reason. So it's just bewildering all around. I don't care for it at all. Okay, so this is number 4, Prison Island. You are not a fan of the Myst remake, but these games also came out when you were a kid, so you have the curse of nostalgia attached to them. Yeah, hard same. My mom and I played the original Myst way back in 1994, 1995, something like that. And we walked around the island and got nowhere for a very, very long time. We didn't even figure out that you were supposed to slide the blue page into the blue book for an embarrassingly long length of time. But we didn't care because it was 1994, 1995 or so, and we were watching, you know, these amazing 3D rendered graphics on our 486 with Windows 3.1. Because that's how mind-blowing it was back then. The original Riven was a birthday gift. You were obsessed and just loved walking around the islands. Yeah, and you kind of have to be okay with that, you know, that you spend a lot of time walking around. Like, I've watched a lot of people stream the original Riven, and that does seem a lot like the difficulty that they have is that, you know, whereas Myst would put something that was very obviously a puzzle in front of you and say, hello, this is a puzzle, Riven really integrates them a lot more into the world, into the... Okay, I was expecting that was going to be the thing that I was supposed to look through, but it does not look like anything. Maybe I have to look up at it from the bottom? When you talk about it now, you tell everyone that Myst is a series of puzzle and Riven is a puzzle. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, I think. I might have to borrow that myself. And now, having played both, I actually slightly prefer the... Okay, so that's not what I'm supposed to look up at. That just illuminates... That just illuminates this. Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. Okay. So is that light meant to do anything more than just make this look cool? Huh. Maybe I have to go up further. Knowing how to instantly read and write dunny numerals is your most useless skill. Yeah, yep. That was one thing that you don't have to relearn for this remake, and I was kind of appreciative of that, because so far, anyway, unless I've very much forgotten something, the only thing that you have to use dunny numerals to figure out is figuring out Rivenese numerals. Which seems like a little bit of a waste, because, you know, for us that have played the game before, you know, we already recognize dunny numerals basically instantly. But for people who are playing the remake for the first time and haven't played the original game, you know, they first have to figure out dunny numerals, and then they have to figure out Rivenese numerals, and that might seem like a bit of a drag. What? What's that ladder supposed to be for? Hey, Catherine, I can't figure out this puzzle. Catherine. Oh.
You have to get the book back from the moiety. They have it now. Go.
Well, thanks. Now I feel like an idiot. Well, I mean, she's in prison. It's understandable for her to feel a little bit on edge. But I might have to put a bookmark in this one and go look at the one in Gen's office, because I'm not feeling like I'm getting anywhere with this. I'm already too far from the totem for this to be the valid solution. Because everywhere else it was pretty close. Trying to get a different angle on it, not succeeding. All right. Nothing to see when you look into these, is there? No. I hope the struggle is entertaining. It certainly is to me when I'm watching other people, but I don't know if that's just a me thing or yeah, all right. I'm not getting anywhere with this. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go to Gen's office, Gen's laboratory. Wait a minute. Are these shoals supposed to look like anything? Entertaining thus far. You have yet to beat the remake. You were instantly overwhelmed when you loaded the game and entire rooms were missing or moved. Oh, well, I mean, I hate to discourage you from watching my stream, but are you sure you want to spoil yourself? I was unsure how to, I haven't made it past you just yet. Okay, fair enough. Oh, I, shoot, forgot to stop the sphere. What was I gonna say? I was sort of torn between trying to stream it early or trying to stream it, like, after the hype had died down. I kind of decided on the latter through inaction, but, that right, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. But I think that in the end that was the right decision, because when this first came out, there were dozens of streamers way bigger than me who were streaming it, and I feel like if I had any designs on getting noticed at all, then I was probably going to have to wait my turn. Incidentally, when I first greeted you, did I mispronounce your name? I think I must have done. I think I called you Arizona Garbage, when it is clearly Arizona Garbage. But that's how much of a scatterbrain I am, so. I'm not the first. Okay, that's comforting. Okay, so Bookmaking Island is Vertical Slit. Okay, where's Vertical Slit? Vertical Slit is right there. Okay, good. That was another puzzle I didn't have to solve. The Doors of Misery. I have a for people who are looking for a hint in the original game, I have a version that I give in haiku form, which I'm slightly proud of, which is, like an argument or a coin, there's always two sides to every door. There was I watched somebody stream this once who had a make a haiku redeem. Yeah. First time players always get really pissed off about the doors, and rightly so. It is kind of a face slapper once you actually get the once you actually pick up on it. Okay, last week one of my acolytes caught a rebel sniffing around the cemetery totem in the jungle. In keeping with the general ineptitude of my men, the dog was allowed to escape, but at least the fool had the presence of mind to bring me the object in question. It is a primitive eyepiece into which one of the native numbers has been set. Given the fact that their accursed numeric system requires you to know which way a symbol has been rotated in order to read it, however, there is no way to make sense of it. It is probably an overestimation of the moiety's intelligence to suspect that there may be some greater meaning behind it, but tomorrow I shall send a surveyor out to inspect the other totems just to be safe. Okay, so the cemetery totem in the jungle. Okay, so there's some kind of a cemetery in the jungle that's going to have a totem in it that I have somehow missed. The cemetery totem in the jungle. What are these things? I never figured that out. Some form of... They look like they've got dunny letters written on them. Maybe they're for, like, embossing in the cover of books or something? I don't know. I'm not sure they're important to a puzzle. Of course I say that, but I've basically cursed myself to be wrong, but we'll see. We've got time. There is still potential for me to finish the game this stream. I'm not sure how much money I'd bet on it, but it's possible. We'll say that. It is vertical slit, isn't it? There we go. It still kind of cracks me up, these things. Just like how dangerous they would be if they were being used in real life. It seems like a really good way to accidentally remove your own head. That's another thing too. This remake has definitely taken Riven's broken down aesthetic to a whole new level. Like at the beginning, when you look at the big bridge between Temple Island and Crater Island, and it just crashes into the ocean while you watch, I just laughed at that. That is true. Gen was never really concerned about OSHA violations, but you know, there's his own safety. You'd think that he would be a little bit more concerned about that, because he's the one using this Starfisher gateway system, not the natives. Okay, where is Jungle Island? Jungle Island is there. From a story perspective, I'm not sure what I think of the, you can hang around inside the Starfisher thing. But from a gameplay perspective, it is highly original, and I like it. Where's the dome? There we go. It feels antithetical to some of the canon. That is true, but at the same time, the whole notion of canon in Myst is a little bit on the honor system. Like, I mean, the whole idea that they retconned trap books after starting in Myst 3 or 4, whatever it is. I think it's probably 4 technically. 3 doesn't really have trap books either way. But that's very hard to swallow. I mean, I think the official explanation from Cyan is that, the real world is the Dunny world, and Cyan are canon in it. And they were less concerned with being faithful to the lore than they were to creating an interesting game. Which, I mean, part of me says fair enough. The other part of me is just kind of squinting and saying, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. Because, I mean, how does Riven work without the trap book mechanic? I mean, presumably you get Gen to link to some kind of a prison age, but you then have to link out before he links in and shoots you. Okay, so we're looking for the cemetery in the jungle here, and we're looking for a place that has a totem without a viewer. Okay, mushrooms. Can't walk off the path here. Because, like, in the original game, of course, there's the fourth animal eye sphere thing that you have to realize you can walk off the path at some point to get to, and there's really no indication of it other than the fact that it works. Maybe it's a similar thing here. That took you weeks. Yeah, you and a whole bunch of other people. I think a lot of people... I've definitely seen people stream... was that there the whole time? Was that there the whole time? Son of a bitch. Oh, God. Sure enough, there is a totem with the eyepiece removed. And if I can line it up, sure enough, there is the center. Okay, so Sunner is number 5. Okay, so we've got 4 that we're sure of. 2, 3, 5, and 6. 1 and 4 are still elusive. 1 might be this thing, but I'm dubious. I'm so mad. That stairway was there the whole time, and I was just breezing past it repeatedly. But you know, that is what will happen to you in Riven, whether you're playing the 1997 version or this one. Okay, so we've got the one on Prison Island, and we've got the one by the single tree that we still have to figure out. The one by the single tree is number 1. And the one on Prison Island is number 4. There weren't any animal. I mean, I am semi-tempted to guess that the fish is one of them, but I could brute force one of them. I don't think I can brute force 2. So what do now? What is this thing anyway? I don't know. Anyway, I think a lot of people end up brute forcing the 4th animal in Riven 97. Either that or the 1st, but usually the 4th. They'll just go back to Gen's survey room in a lot of cases and figure out that you can spin the outside rim of the camera when it's looking at the village, and be like, "That's a fish." You just had to mentally flip through the animals. In the remake or in 97? I mean, you can certainly get by with the fact that you've only seen 5 of them, and all you have to get is all you have to do is figure out where what order they go in. That is, once people figure out which beetle is the right one and which frog is the right one. A surprising number of people pick the, yeah, that's one that I think most people do it by sound. And part of the reason for that is because with the speed of modern computers, it's way too easy to just click, 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 and just zoom past it. Where are you, Prison Island? There you are. that was invisible inky for a second, but that's just white anyway. That's not something, is it? No, it couldn't be. Nope. Walking around with this thing whipped out, I feel sort of like a significantly dumber version of Sherlock Holmes. Something, something, Watson. Incidentally, I think I just thought of the punchline to a joke that doesn't exist yet. Alimentary, my dear Watson. Mostly it's I can tell already that it's going to be one of those jokes that makes you facepalm instead of laugh. Hey, Moritz. Welcome, welcome. I've made some progress. I found that you're supposed to look around the totems to find the animals associated with them, and that the numbers 1 through 6 give you the order for them, which makes sense because the puzzle reset itself after you hit 6 of the tombstone-looking things. And we've got, I'll show you. We've got 4 of them. We've got 5, 3, 2, and 6. 1 and 4 are proving elusive. And oh yeah, no worries. I made progress yesterday as well, so I'm not feeling like I spent too much time spinning my wheels. I did have to hint myself though on with regard to the to where the submarine was. Do I want a hint for this one? A gentle one, maybe. All of the images are on Jungle Island. Okay. All right, thank you for that. That will, that narrows my problem space a lot. But if all the images are on Jungle Island, does that mean that this was moved from someplace on Jungle Island? And if so, from where? Is there someplace on Jungle Island that looks like it used to have a totem in it? Because what's a totem doing on Prison Island to begin with? Please remember that you are minimal and specific in how you word your hints. Yes, all of the images are on Jungle Island. So I should go to Jungle Island and not spend more time on Prison Island, I think. That's what I'm gonna do. If I'm wrong about I should go to Jungle Island, then you can tell me that. Shoot, I forgot again. The totem is on Prison Island, yes. But I should go to Jungle Island if I want to find the image associated with it. So I should stay on Prison Island. Oh. Wait a minute. Don't tell me anything. Can you see Jungle Island from Prison Island? If so, which one would it be? That's obviously Temple Island. That'll be Jungle Island. But it doesn't look like anything from here, so let me try and find a different vantage point. Can I look from near the totem? Well, there are moiety daggers there that I didn't see before. There's something I can actuate here. What am I looking at? I can see it a little bit more clearly through the glass, but I can't. Is it the shape of the whole island? I mean, certainly that big thing up that's in the center of the glass right now seems very deliberate. But am I looking at the right thing and just not seeing it? I have to be. Because why else would you be... Oh, there's a... Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Okay. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we just need 1. The totem associated with 1 is by that lone tree. You can see that painting on Jungle, but you can't make out what it is. Fair enough. And that inhale. Yes, you know that inhale well. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Okay, anyway. Ah, shit, I forgot to do it again. So far, there have been 3 things that were just... were just caused by I didn't see them in this and the previous stream. You love the totem puzzle in this game, and you love that it's random. Oh, it's randomized. Are the pictures randomized? Or is the, or is the order randomized? I don't know. I actually kind of liked the marble puzzle in this one. I don't know if it displaces the original, but I think that it's, I think it certainly is interesting. I think I'd have to think to choose which one I think is better. The reason I'm wondering whether the pictures are randomized is because of the one where the picture is formed by where the moths tend to land. The, which one was that? You know, the one by the chopped down forest. That would be hard to randomize, I think. You recall needing 3 hints. You think it was to find a button, the submarine, and to enter the gate room because you couldn't get under the gate. Oh, interesting. I have not been counting hints, just because I think it would bruise my ego. I meant to go down, didn't I? But I don't think I have overly needed hints. I found... the button for the for what do you call it, for the big dome, that was a thing I stumbled on myself. That I might have needed a hint for if I hadn't randomly just seen that. Oh, the gate room. You were fully prepared to go under that gate. When you couldn't, you were instantly confused. Yeah, I had a similar feeling, but I think I'm pretty sure I regrouped reasonably quickly on that one. Where are you, Jungle Island? There you are. That was when you realized you weren't in Kansas anymore. Yep, I can see that. I actually spent my first stream of this game fighting my mouse. As Brungo will tell you, I have the worst luck with input devices. Oh, I'll be able to finish this game in less than an hour. Spoiler, I did not. Yes, indeed. But I tried 2 different mice in my first stream, both of which had a similar issue where the button was registering intermittently. And so when I got to trying to spin that ball in the Starfisher, it it was just not working at all. And that was when I realized I needed to regroup. You will say you got a bit of a hint from one of the achievements. You had opened the 4 domes and got an achievement saying that you had access to all 5 islands. Ah. Yeah, that took me a moment, too. I was thinking, like, okay, I got the idea that you needed to extend the bridges, but I wasn't, but I was thinking that there was going to have to be something that I was going to have to do to extend to the prison island one. And then I was like, oh, it's already there. My, that's awfully convenient. Okay, so this one is the one out by the tree. I forget if I'm heading in the right direction or not. I am headed in the wrong direction. You still think 97 is your preferred version, but you do like this one a lot. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick a favorite as these puzzles go. Like, I don't know. I mean, Riven 97 has the nostalgia factor working for it. There's no getting around that. But I am very appreciative of what they've done here, of the fact that they have made a way to experience the same game basically through new eyes. If somebody would do that with Return of the Obra Dinn, I would... It would make my life. Okay. So this is the one remaining totem that we haven't figured out yet. For me, it's that feeling that everyone is running from you and is always on alert, as well as the marble puzzle. Yeah, that does seem to have been something that they kind of just dispensed with in this game. Like, the village is clearly afraid of you, but how do they know you're here? Is not clear to me. What's even less clear to me, though, is, like, I see that there is invisible ink or phosphorescing things in this tree, but it doesn't look like anything to me, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to. I mean, it can't. It can't be. There's no way that this is the image I'm supposed to see. You can see down to here from the water tower at the top. I mean, if that's a water tower, it's a really weird design for one. Like, you'd think that it would just be a bowl. But this one, taking the option to really dive into Rivenese culture and the moiety more, is an excellent take, while also really leaning into the utter decay and degradation the world is falling into. Excellent expansions. Yeah, no, I agree. And the gate was one of the things that said you're not in Kansas anymore. And the other thing was the bridge between Temple Island and Crater Island just collapsing into the sea while you watched. That was great. I loved that. I laughed. I was just like, that is very clearly the designers saying, you know, not saying fuck you per se, but saying like, nope, this is not going to be the same game you're used to. And you have to respect them for it because it's it's a very clear sign. I am definitely missing something about that. They also made it next to impossible to just spam the domes open, which made you laugh. Yeah, that's something I sort of appreciated as well. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this is definitely one of the things that was on the pillars, but this doesn't, this isn't written in invisible ink, and there's no invisible ink on it. So this can't be it, can it? You've got this sort of plumb bob hanging in the air here. It's just sort of swaying back and forth, and you can move this thing, but why? First of all, why would you ever not have it in position? And second of all, if you do get it into position, how do you get water into it? I hate everything. What is that a shape of, though? Alright, that's probably enough. I'm assuming if I go down there, I'll be able to see what that's supposed to be. Oh boy. It's humbling in a way, and it should be, to not immediately know the answer to all of the puzzles. There we go. And that is number 1. It is, I agree. Nice that we should all get Mist Shock, that they're able to do that after all this time and experience. All right, let's go. Beautiful 3D graphics. You miss zip mode. Yeah, I kind of do too. I sort of like what Revelation did with the where did I leave the sub? I think I left it in the middle of the village. I like what they did with zip mode, where you could just sort of click on a selection of areas to go to them. I think that was a bit more intuitive than the, occasionally your mouse pointer will turn into a lightning strike thingy. A lightning bolt, that's the word I'm groping for. it's still there? Yeah, it's still there. Okay. But what's this thing for? I still don't know. Okay, I think this one was the work gallows. You really liked the addition of that thing. Not saying if you haven't figured it out. The thing that I said, what is that for? Or the control of the sub. Didn't like the simplification of the sub. Yeah, I don't know. I could kind of go either way. Alright, let's go get ourselves poison darted. Okay. So, reminding myself, it is beetle, jumpy thing, frog, fish, sunner, wark. Beetle. Jumpy thing. Frog. Fish. Sunner. And the grand finale. Oh, yes. There it is. Oop. No. Here we go. Tay, at last. Ooh. Can I catch them by surprise? Probably not.
Palo! Palo!
What?
Yo olay! Yo olay!
I like how the moving the mouse is kind of slidey when you're in the boat, because you're still groggy from being darted. Presumably, anyway. And we're in jail. Look out the window. They didn't take my Rivenese viewer, or my moiety viewer thingy. That was nice of them. But I can't look out here. Yeah. Did I just black out?
Katarina e now da saya yapalo. Yapa ay manay yalepo. Miotisai. Bekaretere wira pe yelo kene falapo. Tisai. Why te fulupe?
Thanks.
Now Katarina ne. Wisi fapolo ya sepe yai.
I caught the word Aleppo in there, which refers, I think, to Temple Island, but of course the rest of it was just gibberish to me. Now I'm trying to remember what... Oops, not that button. Anybody remember what the control is to look at the books in your inventory? I haven't had to use it since the very beginning of the game, and I've long since forgotten it. Spacebar? No. Tab. There we go. Tab. Thank you. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. Ah, the hot dog book. I write quickly from my prison. Along with this journal, I've instructed Neela to return the book that the moiety intercepted upon your arrival. After questioning her, I've concluded that it was written by Atris for a very specific purpose. Gen will wish to use it, though he will undoubtedly be suspicious. Once he is out of the way, you will need the combination to release me. I'm told he keeps it somewhere in his outpost on 233. Then I assume we're to signal Atris. I think I know how it might be done, but don't attempt it before I'm released. Catherine. That's interesting. 233 is written out here in Arabic numerals instead of Dunny numerals, which means that you have to figure out, well, you kind of have to figure out that 233 refers to that age. Just checked. Rivenese Aleppo, meaning water pool, probably means the pool under the dome. If you look in Catherine's journal, at least in the original game, she refers to Aleppo as meaning water pool, which refers to the I think it refers to Temple Island. Okay. This is going to be a long read, if it's anything like 97. It's been 1 week since I linked to Riven, and I'm still reeling from the changes I've witnessed. Even before my eyes could adjust, the smell of my homeland embraced me. The sweet salt air was instantly familiar, but the scene that soon resolved was not as I stood. As I stood there, struggling to make sense of what I was seeing, a violent clang ascended and bars appeared before me. It was then that I must have been darted, for my memory after is cloudy. She doesn't write 233 in 97. No, she doesn't. But she wrote Aleppo in somewhere in her journal in 97. A Rivenese man shabbily dressed in ritualistic attire? Militaristic attire was shouting something at me. He seemed to be attempting to speak Dunny, but his grasp of the language was so poor that I could not make out his words, and then the world went dark. Many voices passed, until at last I awoke to a familiar face, Eddie. After all this time, she's still as warm and kind as ever, and yet the years have clearly wounded her, as they've wounded everyone whose world became a prison when Gen was trapped here. Everything is tinged with pain and loss, even Eddie's bright smile, though she does her best to hide it. A desperate agency, squelched by unfettered... Something fierce seethes beneath her cordial veneer. When Atris and I left Gen here, all those years ago, I was haunted by visions of what had become of my people and how they might have come to suffer under his rule. But the injustices I imagined are nothing compared to the atrocities that have actually come to pass. The following is a chronicle of what I have learned, a record of all that has happened, should I no longer be here to tell it. The moiety, it seems the confrontation that led to Gen's entrapment in Riven was witnessed by some of the Rivenese, but their interpretation of the event was skewed, no doubt due to Gen's own overinflated view of himself. Atris and I had hoped that stripping him of his ability to link to other worlds might lead people to conclude that his claims of godhood were false, but it appears the opposite has come to pass. If Gen was a god, and we had vanquished him, then we must be greater gods. It was thus assumed that my absence was only temporary and that I would surely return one day to set the world right again. Thus the moiety, the name they adopted for Gen after Gen's disparaging use of the term, were born, sworn enemies of Gen and devotees of me. I had no inkling of this misconception about myself until 2 days ago, though in hindsight it makes perfect sense given the way I've been treated. For their part, they naturally assumed an omniscient deity might be well aware of their own divine status, so there was no need to inform me. I only finally pieced it together during a recent underground gathering where they reenacted their version of the story of my life, a riveting tale that culminated with the confrontation between Atris, myself, and Gen at the edge of the fissure. The events had been exaggerated to such grandiose proportions that I found it hard at times to suppress my laughter, and yet this myth has also given them the courage to stand against Gen, and the hope that they might someday be delivered from the relentless inhumanities of his authoritarian rule. Even so, the fact that I am the one who has been cast as their savior, an omnipotent being who would one day return to Riven, overthrow Gen, and lead them to a new paradise, is deeply unsettling. I would do anything to free my people from this hellish existence, but I am not who they think I am. How, though, can I dissuade them from this notion without also crushing their hopes? As Gen's power grew, so did the moiety, and in order to evade his persecution, for he would wipe them all out in an instant if he could, they had to become more and more adept at concealing themselves. They make use of a network of caves that so far he has failed to discover, but I fear it is only a matter of time before they're found out. Secret passage to the rebel linking room. 3 Bolu must be lit. Is that something I've seen already? Better take a screenshot. Further jeopardizing their existence is the fact that the moiety absolutely refuse to sever their ties with those who have sided with Gen. The two factions thus just live together in surprising harmony, their overarching sense of cultural unity appearing to outweigh the schism, at least for now. I heard today that Father and Enant were inducted into Gen's labor force. I so longed to see them, but a dimness surrounded Eddie's face so abruptly when I asked of them that it left me hesitant to press the matter further. I must know the truth eventually, but I fear the news will not be good. From the moment of their inception, the moiety have sought to disrupt Gen's plans at every turn, sabotaging his construction, stealing from his precious stockpiles, and keeping an ever-watchful eye on his every move. They shroud themselves with dark carvings and delight in the fact that their enemies are often frightened by their wraith-like appearance, and thus almost preternatural ability to wreak havoc without detection or consequence. It was in the course of one of these forays that I was fortuitously rescued when I first linked to Riven. I shudder to think what might have become of me had that scout not been there to intervene. Gen will certainly be hunting for me now, no doubt furious at his guard's failure to detain me. He must be even angrier, though, at the loss of the linking book he surely assumes I brought with me. That I was deceived into linking into Riven without a way back is a better yet fortunate fact, for it may well have meant the death of us all, if had a path back to Dunny fallen into his destructive hands. When he finally discovers that I came here empty-handed, he'll be angrier still. That is some consolation, at least. I have glimpsed the final breath of a dying age. A tiny blade cuts the void. The white hole divided again and again, dipped in black. The sub drops. The nib drops red. I don't know. The art of genocide. Today I ventured above ground to see for myself what has become of the island. I hoped it wouldn't be as bad as the moiety had reported. It was worse. Having lived with it for so long, the Rivenese have become inured to the steady decay around them, but I was devastated. Nib is in pen nib. Yeah, I sort of was guessing that, but I wasn't sure. As we wound our way through the underbrush, I found myself once again breathing in my youth. The ocean air transporting me back in a matter of seconds. But as my eyes again took hold, the warmth of those memories vanished, and I was left with nothing but numbness. We had reached a bluff that had not been there the last time I visited my home. Riven, which was once one island, has split into 5 distinct pieces that have since drifted apart at an astounding rate. 4 of these have been claimed by Gen as his exclusive domain. Only those who have sworn their loyalty to him are ever allowed access to them. From my vantage point at the edge of the trees, I could see 3 of them, now blighted with Gen's monomaniacal constructions. These islands are closely guarded and pose great personal risk to the moiety, though that hasn't kept them from doing whatever they can to thwart Gen's endeavors there. The 4th island I could not see, as it has crept away to some distance, and now lies concealed by fog. The moiety said that Gen's originally governed from this small island, living and working in a protected space he built for himself atop the stump that remains where the great tree used to stand. The only surviving forest is located here, on the largest island, where the village also remains. This island was ostensibly intended to be the provenance of the people, but it too has been irrevocably marred by Gen's oppressive intrusions. Words fall, brittle brown leaves, masquerading as green, should never have held, lives both bloomed and as yet unneeded. I feel nothing today. I am an outcast among outcasts, the diaspora of a dying world. Despite my repeated protestations, the moiety continue to treat me differently, their desperate need precluding any dissuasion from the belief that I am some sort of messiah come to save them. They misconstrue my every move as a validation of their faith, whispering of how I walked the island bold and unafraid, mistaking my outrage at the island's devastation for bravery. But I am afraid, for I know something that the moiety do not. The underlying reason for the island's accelerated decay. Gen wrote this world, and so it will fail, as all of Gen's ages ultimately fail. I must make the moiety understand this, but I cannot talk to Eti. There were brief moments soon after my arrival when my divine status was forgotten and I was simply Katrin again, but they are almost non-existent now. There is one person, however, who seems immune to these fallacious notions. Neela. Her gaze has never faltered when I've dared hint at the uncomfortable truth I feel I could trust her to bear the full brunt of it. Gen is making books. How did I not know this until now? Atris and I knew he would likely attempt it, as he has adopted the paranoid practice of writing all of the necessary materials into his ages. He's been exploiting the natural resources and the people of Riven as fodder for his mad pursuit to further his colonialist ideals. Thankfully, it sounds as if he has not yet succeeded. As painful as it's been, the fact that I've returned to Riven at this crucial juncture is fortuitous. The gauge is crumbling, my people are suffering, and if Gen succeeds in securing his freedom, other worlds will suffer the same. The moiety are looking to me. I may only be mortal, but I have to do something. It's looking at this picture. Interesting. Okay. It's been a long time since my last entry. There is much to tell. It was hard to recognize, but I found the Starfisher. It is located on what Gen refers to as his temple island, though the moiety prefer to use the Rivenese word Aleppo, there it is, which means water pool. They've taken to referring to the void itself as Alatuan, pool of stars. It is the very fissure that allowed Atris and me to escape this age without leaving a linking book behind us, though it has since been sealed with a skin of heavy iron. Several derelict devices from that time remain mounted to its surface, including a hatch with a windowed viewport, a large telescope, and the mechanical lift that was used to install it, the combination to which was acquired by the moiety long ago. Ah, here's where we use Rivenese numerals. Let me quick write that down in, sensible numerals. Okay, so that is 7, 8, 9, because it's right to left. So that's 9. 6. 4. 10. 1. 5. 8. 8. 5 again. 6. Let me just check. 964 1015 8856. Okay, cool. In the early days, the moiety briefly considered reopening the fissure. Thankfully, they decided against it. Had they attempted it back then, the results might well have been catastrophic. Were they to do so today, it would certainly mean the end of Riven. I am told that in the days immediately following Gen's confinement on Riven, he attempted to determine the feasibility of navigating the stars beneath the fissure, for he had seen the mist book. He had seen the mist book fall from Atris's hands into that very same space. To this end, he sacrificed several poor souls, alleged transgressors of the law, by throwing them into the hatch so he could observe their fate. It is said that they did not die, but what becomes of them remains a mystery. How's it tashing? It's tashing pretty good. I feel like we are pretty close to the end right now. And that original fissure is no longer alone. Now, ruptures have appeared in recent years of various locations around the islands. In some instances, the moiety were able to glimpse the breaches before Gen and his minions moved on to contain them. Their descriptions support my suspicion that the forces that are tearing Riven apart are more than merely geological. More troubling, however, is that Gen is not simply containing these rifts, but is somehow using them to travel between the islands, and that he has also reportedly devised a way to harvest the energies from the expanse for some as yet unknown purpose. How like him to wantonly exploit for his own selfish gain that which he does not understand. The starfield beneath the fissure is not as it seems. It is a gentle space, as hospitable to life as a flowing river. That is how Atris described his brief time within the expanse before he linked out, leaving his mist book adrift within it. He was never able to conclude upon its nature, but I cannot help but feel that there must be some greater purpose? That doesn't look like purpose behind it. Something I should have mentioned earlier. One of the colossal blades that appeared in the course of our escape from Riven, the great dagger that stands at one end of the fissure, has been adopted by the moiety as the emblem of their struggle. They have their own explanation of how it came to be, of course, but their choice is more apt than they know, as that dagger, along with the other blades, was a manifestation of my rage at the destruction that Gen had already wrought upon my world. I haven't told the moiety that I wrote it into the age, as I fear that would only fuel their overestimation of me, but I can't deny it pleases me to have inadvertently provided them with such a fitting symbol for their cause. My limited encounters with Gen's followers have been discouraging. Whenever I've attempted to engage them, they've fled from me. I heard an interesting tale from the moiety last night, which may help to explain this. Soon after we trapped Gen on Riven, he deemed that it was he who had been responsible for the Great Blades, summoning them as a preemptively punitive reminder of the obeisance he expected. In the village circles, it is told that this act marked the beginning of a period of restitution, at the end of which, provided they had proven their devotion to him, they would be delivered unto a new and better existence. I will continue my attempts to intervene on their behalf. The cage has finally failed. Gen is free. My sources have confirmed that Gen has managed to create a functional linking book. In fact, he had done it so before my arrival, but kept this accomplishment so well hidden that only his closest acolytes were aware of it. In keeping with his callous regard for the worlds he creates, he has simply named the age 233. It is not known whether he has written others. I have also just learned that years ago, a moiety scout managed to steal a book that was an early failure that Gen had intended to destroy. It was largely complete, but did not work. I wasn't told about it until now because they thought it was useless. Gen struggled for decades, but he could never get a conventional linking book to work. Then, one day, he began construction on a cumbersome mechanical solution, a complex series of devices designed to harness the energies of the starry expanse and use them to suppress his book's inherent flaws. Hey, Eminem. And thank you. Weird to use the Hindu-Arabic numerals there. Yeah, it is a little weird. She used the Dunny numerals in the in Riven 97. The design phase was chaotic and often dangerous. The moiety tell of tremendous explosions as Gen sought to contain and wield forces that he knew little to nothing about. But he is nothing if not determined, and eventually he was able to use this enormous crutch to link to another age. I can't deny his brilliance, but it is an abominable of solution, brutish and overwrought, and all but entirely unnecessary. I have studied the partially burned book that the moiety took from him. Although he sought retribution for the affront, he appears to have been otherwise untroubled by the theft, no doubt assuming the book would be useless in the moiety's hands. But I can see what they could not. The book may yet be salvageable. The age the book describes is wholly unsuitable as a home for the moiety, but I think it can be modified. I will dream. I have nearly finished writing the moiety's age. The world as described is harsher and more desolate than they are used to, but they should be able to sustain themselves there. But we'll need a second book. Gen has been spending most of his time on 233 lately, so the danger is less, but getting into his lab will still be difficult. The coming collapse weights the air, blurring my vision both day and night. We must act soon. Success. We have secured a second book, though I worry now that Gen will miss it and deduce our plans before we're ready. The descriptive book I've prepared as a refuge for the rebels is useless unless I can find a way to correct its inherent flaws. Gen's massive machine merely functions to manipulate the energies within the expanse. It serves its purpose, but its excess seems unwarranted. The Rivenese have long used crystalline substrates as an elegant means to manipulate light. If I could just find the right material. Last night's dreams have delivered me a perilous plan. I will write the substance into the new moiety age. If we could temporarily access Gen's apparatus, we could use our book to link to this new age and search for the crystal. Someone would then have to carry the book back to safety once the link was made. If it fell into Gen's hands, all would be lost. When Gen links to 233, one of his acolytes always remains to shut down the device. We'll have to get to him before he can do so, which means we'll only have one chance before they're alerted to our presence. Everything is ready. I have written the material into the new age, and I have prepared the second linking book as a return path to Riven. Of course, it too suffers the same deficiencies as all of Gen's books, so it won't work unless it's augmented. Once I'm in the new age, I'll have to locate the crystal and adapt it to heal the gateway image, which should render the book functional. I can then use the second linking book to return to Riven with more of the material. It's risky, but if all goes well, the moiety, and any others we can convince to join them, will finally have an escape. I can't help but laugh at the absurdity of the plan. I sound like Atris. Should I fail to return, it will likely mean the end of my life, but my only real fear is for my people. Everyone assures me they have complete faith that I will accomplish my task and lead them to a better world. That's the fulfillment of the prophecy, after all, but underneath they are just as tense and fearful as I am. What will become of them if I do not return? Will they perish here on Riven, or attempt to follow me through this new book to an unknown fate? I don't know what to tell them. Against all odds, it is done. We have already evacuated most of our members to the New Age, which the moiety have named Tay. The world is more beautiful than I'd anticipated, so I am pleased. The Rivenese have been liberated. At last they stand beneath the open sky, unafraid, dazzled by the freedom. They are happy. But there's still much to be done. The age is still vulnerable. The only way to completely protect it from Gen is to destroy the books once everyone is safely in Tay. I'm hesitant to bring this up with the moiety until they've had a chance to acclimate themselves to the new world, as it would mean they would be forever exiled from the only home they've ever known. Nor am I eager to sever my own connection and my only path back to my life and family on Mist. But for the greater good, it must be done. For the moment, we're safe, but our activities could arouse Gen's suspicions at any moment. We cannot delay. I will return to Riven tomorrow to resume my attempts, to persuade the remaining holdouts to join the others on Tay. For now, though, I must rest. Woo! That was a long read, as it always is. Now we have to wait until she shows up again. Ah, there we go. The hardest boss of Riven. Oh, they've just opened the door for me? Ooh, okay. We actually get to walk around Tay? That's kind of cool. Hey, what's up? Nothing. That's cool. I hope I'm being sort of railroaded somewhere. I see they've kept their creaky-looking walkways from Riven. And this will be an elevator. Because it's mist, of course it's an elevator. Snow. Okay, now to trap again. I'm gonna save first, just in case. Okay, back to Temple Island. Am I going the wrong way? I'm going the wrong way. I like that they made it so you can actually ride the Warp Gallows down this time. Maybe I spoke too soon. There we go. Previously here. Okay. We could take the maglev back to Temple Island. We don't have to use the Fisher. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's nice that they made that door harder to open and close by accident. Okay. Just throw in a quick save, just in case. And off we go to H233.
Well done. I was greatly relieved when I received word that you had recovered the book. I don't quite know how you managed it, but if I may.
Sure.
Thank you.
One of the inadvertent spoilers that's baked into this game is the fact that Gen is voiced by the same guy that voiced him in the original game, and thus can't have any new lines on account of he passed away some years ago. Hey, it's that asshole. Yeah, I know, it's me. Perhaps it would be better if you went through first.
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first.
Oh, sure. No problem. Hey. All right, all right. Save again. Okay. Maritz, are you still around? I'm wondering if I should push through and finish this, or whether I should save some for next time. What do you think? Is there enough left, or is there like 15 minutes left in this game? Oops, I make mistake. Have to get the code to Catherine's prison first. If it impacts your decision at all, your stream will be late as you forgot to charge your Joy-Cons. Uh-oh. How late is it going to be? Probably half an hour. And now the worst bit of design? Uh-oh. Linking back to Crater Island makes sense, right? Yeah. Okay. Ding, clatter, ding, tink, ding. One more time, just to make sure. Come on. Ding, clatter, ding, tink, ding. Okay. Just write that down. Okay. Good, good, good. No, no, no. I didn't mean to put it down. Put it down. I start this latest journal with astonishing news. Catherine has returned to the Fifth Age, and though it sets my teeth on edge to say it, she has also vanished as quickly as she appeared, stolen from me by the rebels. As my guard tells it, she linked into the Fisher Plateau cage, just as I had surmised. If you want that particular ending, it is laborious. No, I think I'll settle for the good ending this time around. Fisher Plateau cage, just as I'd surmised, when suddenly he was set upon by a band of rebels who darted him and spirited him away. I suspect the truth of the matter is that he was so dumbfounded at actually seeing someone link in after all this time that he presented an easy target for whichever revel happened to be nearby. The damnable luck of it. He did get a thorough look at her, though, to verify that it was indeed Catherine. He also claims that he inspected all of her belongings and found no linking book on her person, a fact that I find hard to believe, but if true, makes the question of why she returned here all the more puzzling. While I am sick with frustration at having lost the only quarry that cage has ever caught, I am also filled with hope, as she may not yet provide me with a way back to Dunny. It is true that I have managed, despite overwhelming odds, to break free of the confines of the Fifth Age and resume my mission to save my culture from extinction, but I fear that unless I am able to again regain access to the vast resources that in the city's ruins, the task of resurrecting that great civilization will be impossible. If Catherine did bring a linking book with her, then I am halfway there. If not, then she is trapped in the Fifth Age, and I can only assume that my emotionally crippled son will soon be along to rescue her. Either way, it is crucial to my plans that I find her soon. Her presence here now forces me to take the rebels more seriously. I should never have permitted them to survive this long. Once again, the Great Wark has demonstrated its usefulness to me. The villagers have been difficult to manage in the wake of Catherine's arrival, and their fear of this mythic beast has been all that has kept them in line. Had I known how truly useful these prodigious creatures would prove to be, I would have captured more of them while the local population was still plentiful. Although, to be sure, if these disturbances continue, my current pets will be in no danger of perishing for lack of nourishment. Oh, snap. The search for Catherine continues. I deeply regret my mistake of having ever taught these primitive people anything at all about the books. It seems that with each passing day, I more sorely realize the extent to which they were not ready for that knowledge, not even the simplified manner in which I presented it to them. Their minds, adapted only to the exceptionally menial tasks of village life, were incapable of comprehending the art in all its complexity, and were thus unable to glean any of the underlying principles that are ironically so elegantly simple. It is obvious that so much of the discord that exists between us stems from their failure to grasp the meaning of this information I gave them. If they'd, been able to gain even the smallest glimpse of the glorious future I had planned for them, this effect would not exist. This conflict would not exist. The minds of the children, however, are much more malleable. With the proper tutelage, they have developed a more appropriate posture towards the culture that has given them their lives. At least they take to it almost as if they had a bit of Dunny blood in them. Given the natives' inborn limitations, however, I am quite careful that none gain a level of understanding that would permit them to sin against their future, the way that Catherine did. How foolish I was to think that she could wield such knowledge responsibly when it was clear that my own son could not. Atris, still he remains one of the greatest disappointments of my life. I should never have left him with my mother. By the time I returned for him, he had already been poisoned as to all thoughts of aiding me in my noble mission. Perhaps that was the only way she could soften the fact that she had been responsible for the collapse of the entire civilization. So much destruction, so many great lives lost. The guilt must have been unbearable. She did seem to love my father and our world, but ultimately she was an outsider whose ignorance of the Dunny became the catalyst for their demise. If I am able to rebuild our culture, and in the process correct such weaknesses, then perhaps what she did was ultimately necessary in order that a new and stronger era of prosperity might someday come to pass. I have been increasingly beset by images from the past these last few weeks. As I stood in the schoolroom today, I was reminded of my own childhood, the years I spent in the Bookmakers Guild, Father's immense pride at each of my small accomplishments there. He was an important man in the Dunny world, but I cannot bear to think of him for long. It is too much. I was too young to see such things. I have her. Last night, I received word that Catherine had been apprehended while attempting to persuade some of the villagers to join her. I lost a few men in the process, but I would have gladly paid 100 times that number for such a prize. She's been imprisoned in my old office, where I've been attempting to gain some insight into the reason for her return. I've had to fight the all but constant impulse to put her on the gallows, as she has adopted the most infuriating stance of only answering my questions when she answers them at all in her native tongue. Even so, she is a poor liar. I am now certain that her return to Riven was unintentional and that she brought no linking book with her. As for her unwillingness to share with me the location of the moiety, we shall see. Without their leader, however, they are once again powerless against me. If Catherine's coming here was indeed an accident, then Atris is bound to come for her. That's a given. The question I must now consider is how will he attempt it? It is likely that his hesitation is due, at least in part, to this dilemma. One way or another, though, he will have to bring a linking book to get back. There is no other way. It's late and I cannot sleep. I've lost so much in my life. My people, my father, my son, and you, my wife Keta. You were the only true kindness I have ever known. Watching you flicker there in the imager, I sometimes wonder if you were real. If I could restore your life with my pen, I would do so in an instant and leave the rest of the world to their own wretched fate. Damn these savages. I would be well advised to leave them all in the Fifth Age and begin again with a clean sheet of paper. A stranger has arrived on Riven with a linking book to Dunny. And once again my useless minion was overtaken by the rebels. From what little I could decipher of his muddled explanation, it apparently occurred sometime this morning. The cage mechanism has been damaged, but that is no matter. Everything I need is here now. Atris is certainly behind this. But why would he why would he send someone else in his stead, and with a linking book no less? Surely he would have guessed that I would be waiting for him. Such recklessness is unlike him. Could it be that he's had a change of heart towards me? That after all these years he has finally decided to let his poor old father go? Ha! I know all too well where his loyalties lie. He is only after one thing. Perhaps this stranger should find her. For now I need only to watch and wait. I'm beginning to think it was a mistake to allow the stranger to roam freely about the island in their ignorant probing. They attempted to power the damaged drawbridge from Temple Island, and the entire bridge collapsed. A trivial loss at this point, but it irks me all the same. Had I not yet managed to free myself from that crumbling age, it would have hampered my progress severely. But again, it is no matter now. The day will soon come when I will be done with Riven forever. Disconcerting news. Last night, a group of maintainers happened upon a lone rebel scout and were able to engage him long enough to learn of a most impossible device, a crystal window, supposedly capable of amending my linking books, much the way that my own remarkable system does, but with one slight advantage. Slight advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it entirely portable. If this outlandish dream is true, then the artifact in question must be something that Catherine fabricated prior to her capture, no doubt from an explicit Dunny schematic she brought with her. If only I'd had access to such a document all these years. The portent of this revelation is deeply troubling. Some years ago, the rebels managed to abscond with a dysfunctional linking book I'd intended to destroy. The book was never recovered, but once they had sufficiently atoned for this sacrilege, I graciously decided to let the matter slide, thinking that in their inept hands it could do no harm. But if Catherine has indeed empowered them with such a device, the rebels may well have linked to another age. It also seems that 233 is no longer safe. This cannot stand. The stranger is the key to all of this. Tracking their movements has given me a good idea of where this rebel linking book and the crystal may be hidden. But before I can deal with that, I must secure the linking book back to Dunny. Everything hinges upon that. If I can regain access to my arsenal of resources there, I will happily leave the whole of Riven to its own dismal future. Okay. Let's bring Riven to a younger audience. Great idea. Gen Z can read cursive, right? True enough. All right, let's head back to Prison Island. Where's that lever? There it is. Turn this thing on. I never did figure out what this fire marble polishing device was for. Presumably it's for polishing fire marbles, but maybe I was just meant to see that and that was it. Wrong door. Other door of despair. You believe the intent is to explicitly show where he's getting all the fire marbles from? Yeah, that tracks. We've got some music playing. That wasn't there before. Okay, which one of you is Prison Island? Must be on the other side. Is that it? I think that's it. Or is that, yeah, that's it. Okay. Oops, we're upside down. Okay, what was it? Ding, clatter, ding, clink, ding. Ding? Nope. Reset. Ding, clatter, ding, clink, ding. There we go. There's the pull chain elevator we know and love.
We have to move quickly. Gen's people may already know what's happening. Once we're back with the moiety, we'll have time to regroup. Can I see the book? You did it. You captured Gen. We're all free. But there's still his followers. I'm not sure what they'll do once they realize he's gone. I have to get the villagers to safety as soon as possible. And you go back to where you first arrived and reopen the fissure. I know it's risky, but it's the only way to signal Atris. I'll try to make it back there as soon as possible, but don't wait for me. Oh, and don't forget the combination in my journal. You'll need it.
You know, I'm pretty sure that elevator can accommodate 2 people. Like real-life elevators, the more you push the button, the more it knows you're in a hurry. I bet in this version she's gone around and retracted all of the bridges except for the one to Temple Island. Ah, god damn it, I did it again. Temple Island is circle with a dot in the middle. There it is. Flash of loading. Now we get to watch the gate room rotate for the last time. I think I just want to push it twice more. Now we get to figure out how to break the fissure open. Okay, combination was 2, 3, 4. Oops. Forgot it goes down, not up. 10, 9. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 10, 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Perfect. Okay. How do we move this thing? That joystick also go left and right? Ah, it does, okay. Alright, destruction time. Gasp. I really feel like I should move a little further away from it. But it's not letting me.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine? Where's the book? I don't understand.
Atris! The villagers are safely in the Rebel Age. I thank you.
As do I. You've accomplished more than I could have hoped for. You've given me back my life. The path home is now clear for all of us.
I hope that's the real Dunny book and not the trap book. They're meant to look identical.
This is where our paths must part. Perhaps we'll meet again someday. You know where to find me. Goodbye, my friend. Now I understand. Endings and beginnings are within the fissure. That riven cleft of stars that acts as both a wall and a bridge. And though I'm unable to understand how, The very flow of stars that brought my mist book into worthy hands, I am sure served as a safe passage home for my friend. The age of Riven has come to a close, but the people of Riven are free. And now I am at rest, understanding that in books and ages and life, the ending can never truly be written.
Well, that was the Riven remake. That was really good. I mean, I've said it several times now, but I am really thrilled that they were able to basically keep the world that the original game was set in, keep the story, and then change all of the puzzles in a way that really made it feel like you were experiencing the game for the first time. It's going to be hard to choose between this and the original Riven. I mean, you have to give it to the original Riven for, for what it looked like for 1997. I mean, the graphics were pretty incredible, and still hold up really well, honestly, except for the fact that they're in 640 by 480. But yeah, this was a really good game. I'm very happy with it. I really enjoyed the experience. Brungo, are you about to start stream soon? Or do you need more charging time? In any case, the next game that I intend to play is probably going to be Chants of Sinar, which I have been told is, a linguistic version of Return of the Obra Dinn, which means that it is extraordinarily relevant to my interests. So I'm really looking forward to that. That should be on. That should be happening on next Tuesday. Brungo is starting soon. So, anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming to watch, and in particular, I want to thank everybody who has. Who came to watch and who followed me, and I want to also thank Mikal Humblebutter for rating me. I really appreciate it, and I will enshrine your name in the GitHub gist where I keep the episode guide. Thank you. Thank you to Mikal Humblebutter for that. Thank you to Grummel for Win, Berry Twisted Dude, Autumn Jaren, Snagawarg, TJ, TTS Bot, Vashkun, Stoop Elder, Zoroark, Arbor Cat, Not Nat, and Arizona Garbage for those follows. I appreciate it very much. I am going to switch over to the ending screen because I tend to forget to do that. And once again, thank you everyone for coming. I hope to see you on Tuesday. And I hope that you all have a great night. Take care.